Have you ever had that creeping feeling that something is literally being stolen from you right under your nose? Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into what I honestly think is the greatest psychological heist of our time, the deliberate, calculated theft of your attention. We're going to map out exactly how your brain has been hacked, and more importantly, how you can take it back. You know the drill, right? You pick up your phone just to check one innocent little notification. You blink, the screen goes dark, and suddenly you snap out of this digital trance 40 minutes later, completely robbed of your time and focus. It feels like a total accident. But what if I told you that absolutely none of this is by accident? It's so easy to just blame yourself, right? To think, ugh, I just have zero discipline. But the data actually tells a totally different story. Look at this. According to a 2023 study, the average person checks their phone a staggering 96 times every single day. I mean, that is once every 10 waking minutes. So no, this isn't weakness. It's a meticulously engineered trap. And when you zoom in even closer, that translates to 2,617 daily screen touches. Every single swipe, tap, and pause you make is literally fueling this massive digital ecosystem. It's so unbelievably potent that Stanford psychiatrist Dr. Anna Lemke calls the smartphone the modern-day hypodermic needle, basically delivering rapid-fire hits of stimulation straight into your nervous system. Wild, right? So let's look at part one, the science of anticipation, unmasking the dopamine myth. Okay, first things first, we need to completely unmask a major myth here. Most people, maybe even you, mistakenly think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. But neuroscientists have proven it's actually the chemical of anticipation and seeking. Your dopamine neurons, they fire furiously not when a reward actually arrives, but when a reward is merely possible. It's all about the craving, not the satisfaction. And honestly, this perfectly explains what we call the 30-minute ick factor. You know that weird wave of disgust you feel after half an hour of mindless scrolling? Well, your brain was just dumping dopamine to chase the anticipation of a reward. But when you finally stop, you realize you found absolutely nothing genuinely satisfying. You were, quite literally, chasing a ghost. Moving on to part two, your pocket slot machine and variable reward science. Just take a look at this comparison. You've got a casino slot machine on the left and your social feed on the right. Pulling a slot lever is neurologically identical to that pull to refresh swipe on your screen. They both operate on what's called a variable reward schedule. Sometimes you win big with this hilarious or exciting post, and sometimes, well, you get absolutely nothing. The sheer uncertainty of what you're going to see next, that isn't a design flaw, it is the core feature. This unpredictable pattern is deliberately engineered to keep you hooked. Think about it. If you knew exactly what was coming every time you swiped, you'd be bored out of your mind in 3 minutes. The compulsion lives entirely in the maybe. Which brings us to part three, the hidden cost, and how this is literally rewiring your brain. All of this constant, engineered stimulation exacts a very real physical toll. Heavy screen use alters your brain in three really profound ways. As you can see here, first, your baseline dopamine just plummets, which makes everyday real life feel kind of flat and boring. Second, the connectivity in your prefrontal cortex weakens. And third, just putting the phone down triggers these intense, almost withdrawal-like urges. And the damage to your prefrontal cortex is genuinely shocking. Studies reveal that heavy smartphone users experience a 35% drop in impulse control. Now, this is the part of your brain that governs your ability to delay gratification. So this massive drop explains why you can genuinely, truly intend to check your phone for just 2 minutes, but you literally lack the neurological ability to actually stop. To make matters worse, the algorithms are getting way more aggressive. Take TikTok, for example. It rapidly alternates your emotional states. You go from a hilarious prank to a completely tragic news story in a matter of seconds. This is designed to maximize engagement, and it actually spikes your brain's gamma wave activity by 62%. This constant emotional whiplash floods your system with stress hormones, which directly fuels skyrocketing global anxiety. The scientific community is seriously sounding the alarm on this. A landmark 2022 study in PLOS One found that using social platforms for just 4 hours a day creates dopamine circuit changes that are strikingly similar to serious gambling and substance use disorders. So your brain, quite literally, cannot tell the difference. Okay, so let's get to the good news in part 4, how to break free with a neurological reset. Because the urge to check your phone fires way before you're even consciously aware of it, sheer willpower is going to fail you. You simply cannot outthink an automatic impulse. Instead, you have to use what we call friction interventions. This means doing things like scheduling specific access windows, ruthlessly eliminating any non-essential notifications, and creating strict physical phone-free zones, like keep it out of your bedroom entirely. To undo these structural changes in your brain, you really need a reset. There's this famous study by Morton Trumhold showing that just a 7-day break from platforms produces massive improvements in your focus. But to completely restore your dopamine receptors to a healthy, stable baseline where, normal everyday life actually feels rewarding again, research points to a 30 to 90-day period of heavily reduced use. So here is your concrete escape plan. Step 1. Use blocker apps that add just a tiny 3 to 5 second delay before opening an app. That little bit of friction is all your prefrontal cortex needs to catch up and say, wait, do I really want to do this? Step 2. Commit to that 7-day baseline reset. And step 3. Replace the endless scrolling with real, tangible hobbies. And maybe use peer accountability groups that actually keep you on track. At the end of the day, your mind has been deliberately hacked by a multi-billion-dollar industry. But just understanding this dopamine loop, that strips away so much of its power. The endless scroll really only controls you if you remain unaware of how it works. Look, your attention is your absolutely most valuable currency, and it is entirely yours to give. So, how will you choose to spend your reclaimed attention today?